What is up, car addicts? In this video, I'll be talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. This event week is for October 20th through October 26th, 2022. So for new content this week, we unfortunately did not receive a new drip feed car this week. According to the drip feed website order that's left, we were supposed to get the Sentinel Classic wide body today, but that unfortunately didn't happen. The Weevil Rat Rod that's after here is supposed to be this year's Halloween car because of the death livery it has, meaning that if I had to guess, I would say that we will be probably receiving both the Sentinel Classic wide body and the Weevil Rat Rod next week, and then the 10F wide body, which is the last car releasing on November 3rd. However, for this week, we did get the new Cerberus free mode event, which I guess is pretty cool. To activate it, you need to steal an exotic export car from the list in your auto shop, and you'll be chased by a Cerberus. I guess some kind of like Halloween references there. Is pretty cool. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Viserys. This car is primarily based on the De Tomaso Pantera, mixed with the Maserati Merrick as well. And it has a normal price of $875,000. To get this car for free, you have to place top 3 in a Street Series race for 3 days in a row. In terms of performance, it is in the Sports Classics class and has one of the highest top speeds in that class, and is in top 10 for most tracks as well. It's just a good car to own in general for some of those top speed intensive tracks, but obviously if you're on next gen, the HSW Turismo Classic is pretty much the only one you need to use. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Comet Safari, the Locust, and the Bullet as well. And for next gen console players, we have the S95 as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Thrax. So this vehicle is primarily based on the Bugatti Divo and has a normal price of about $2.3 million. And fun fact, this car was actually the first ever podium car when the Casino DLC released back in 2019. But anyways, in terms of performance, it is in the supercar class and is in top 10 for most tracks. It's the best handling Bugatti inspired car in game, which is pretty cool. But the top speed is still a bit lower in comparison to the Nero, which I guess makes sense. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the Entity XXR and the Neon as well. And for Simeons, we have the Zion Classic, the Defiler, the Tampa, and the Everrun as well. And the Zombie Chopper is supposed to be in the spot here, but for some reason it's not appearing, so I guess that's kind of broken there. Moving on to the discounts, in terms of property discounts, we have 40% off all the garages this week, which is great for those of you who need more storage. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 30% off the Locust. So this car is in the sports class and isn't as quick as it seems. By looking at it, you would assume it's some ultra grippy track car, but it's not. It handles like a traditional sports car and really isn't all that fast either. It's around mid-pack in the sports class, so again, not really all that quick. Next up, we have 50% off the Comet Safari. So this car is in the sports class and is fantastic for some off-road rally style tracks, but obviously it's nowhere near the pace of some of the top cars for rally races like the SE Sport, for example. But regardless, it's still a really fun one to drive. Moving along, we have 50% off the Bullet. So this is one of the OG supercars. And unfortunately, it has no visual customization, and it's one of the slowest in that class as well. I do love its styling, and hopefully one day we get a Benny's version of this car, or maybe some updated customization. Next up, we have 30% off the Neon. So this car is in the sports class and is still the quickest electric car in that class with incredible acceleration, but obviously its handling really isn't all that great. Moving on to the Seven San Andreas website, we have 50% off the Zion Classic. So this car is in the Sports Classics class and is a fantastic one to drive. Plus it's in top 10 for most tracks in that class and has great customization as well. Next up, we have 50% off the original Tampa. So this car is in the muscle car class and is pretty slow, being around mid-pack in that class with some pretty average customizations, so So not really anything all that exciting. I would really only buy it if you truly like its styling. Moving along, we have 30% off the Everon. So this vehicle is of course in the off-roads class and is great for off-roading, and even though it's not that quick, it still makes it into top 10 for most tracks. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 40% off the Blazer Aqua. So this is a pretty unique vehicle that can turn into a jet ski pretty much when it hits the water. It's pretty cool, but honestly, these days in GTA Online, I see no real use for it with all the newer special vehicle options we have in the game. Plus, you do need to own a vehicle warehouse in order to purchase this one anyway, so I really wouldn't buy this one. In terms of login unlocks, you can get this famine mask for free just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. Also, if you complete a payphone hit this week, you'll get this green vintage mummy mask, which is pretty cool. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on free mode events, which is pretty good. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the returning adversary mode Beast versus Slasher. And for those of you who own an auto shop, we have double money NRP on exotic exports. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Game members only. So again, same as usual, the only thing we have is the usual free $125,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Davis Courts. This week's normal time trial is Fort St. Cudo. I highly recommend a car with a high top speed or a fast bike such as the Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, or Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the Sports Classics Race 8-figure bonus. I highly recommend either the Retinue Mark II, Turismo Classic, or Cheetah Classic for that race. And if you're on Next Gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Turismo Classic for this race. And lastly, for Next Gen console users, the HSW time trial is Pacific Bluffs. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Zion Classic. At 50% off, it's a fantastic deal for this car that's really nice to drive, has great customization, and is in top 10 for most Sports Classics tracks. It's just an overall really good car. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, this event week is decent. I would say it's not, I wouldn't really say it's good. The discounts aren't really the best. Double and triple money is kind of average. And the new event just seems kind of cool, but we got no drip feed car this week, so not really the best event week. Let's hope next week is better. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.